everyone, and welcome back to another very unusual episode of Humans Behind HR. I was trying to get Yusuf on this podcast for last I don't know how many months.
1 year.
1 year. Okay, let's do that. But yeah, and today we are in a different setting. As you know, we are not doing this over a webinar and all of that. We are here for Recruitment Adda's event in Hyderabad, and I thought because maybe he's always very busy, I thought I'll catch him here. So great. I mean, again, welcome back to another episode. This is a podcast where we get amazing professionals in HR fraternity to talk about their journeys and journey and learnings. And it's a privilege to have Yusuf on the podcast today. On this podcast, we'll talk about how, and you can learn really about how a recruitment journey can transform into the entrepreneurship. I'm sure he will talk a lot of things about the journey that he has taken, the learnings that he has, and what it really means to become a recruitment professional and expand from that to become a entrepreneur. And I think he'll also talk about a lot of different facets. So Yusuf, welcome to Humans Behind HR.
Thank you, Saran. Thank you for giving me this opportunity. Well, yeah, it's been a privilege, and I'm sorry to keep you waiting for so long.
No problem. So Yusuf, for people who don't know you, while as you know this show is also sponsored by Sourcing Adda, which is Yusuf. He's a founder. But Yusuf, why don't you just introduce yourself and talk about who you are and what you do?
Well, my name is Yusuf, and a lot of you know me by the name Sourcing Bhaijaan. So yeah, so that's about me. And I mean, I've been into this industry for about 23 years now, so more than 2 decades now. And I love recruitment, I love sourcing, I love traveling. So you guys, if you follow me, you'll keep seeing my traveling videos, reels and all. Yeah, so that's about me.
Great. Yusuf, just talk about the company that you work for and that you founded, and what are the different, I think you have multiple companies, right?
So Jashan basically calls me the Pathan group of companies. So I've got 3-4 companies. So basically, the first company which I found was Career Sourcing, which is a RPO. We cater to clients in Europe, US, and what we do is we do a lot of sourcing for them. So, and that too through non-traditional ways of sourcing. So we don't, in last 12 years, we haven't subscribed to job portals at all. So without job portals, we've been sourcing candidates for our clients, and then it has been a very successful journey for us in key resourcing. We have about 55 team members working with key resourcing. Now I also formed another company which is SourcePro back in 2014. Now here we actually train recruiters on the non-traditional ways of recruitment. So how do you look beyond job portals? So what are those different tools? What are those different techniques? How do you utilize social media for your own branding, for your sourcing? And how do you generate more pool of candidates for your recruitment? So that's about SourcePro. And then I also recently, about a year back, I started with a restaurant, okay, so which is called Mishu's. So if you guys are in Pune, please feel free to come to Mishu's, and I'll give you some good discounts in Mishu's. So if you love Chinese food and Indian food, you should definitely come and visit Mishu's. Yeah.
Awesome. And you forgot about Sourcing Adda?
Oh yes, Sourcing Adda, obviously. I mean, Sourcing Adda, that's the core part. So Sourcing Adda is a community for recruiters, and we do a lot of sessions, events for Sourcing Adda. So we've got these WhatsApp groups where you can join, and we've got about more than 8,000 people all over India. In fact, not all over India, but we've actually gone international also. We've got a WhatsApp a group in Dubai as well. So we've got international and Bangkok, yes. And then we keep doing these events. And today here we have conducted our first event, which is the Hyderabad event meetup, Sourcing Adda meetup. So yeah. And by the way, Sourcing Adda is now changed to Recruiting Adda.
Yes.
So yeah. So today we launched Recruiting Adda. So yeah. So that's about Sourcing Adda.
Okay, great. So, Yusuf, we normally start this show by asking a very peculiar question to everyone, saying, "You are a human behind HR. Who?" Can you complete the sentence?
So I'm a human behind HR I'm the sourcing Bhaijaan of the recruitment industry, right? So everyone knows I'm the sourcing Bhaijaan of recruitment industry. Yeah, but to tell you, I mean, see, I always love interacting with people. I always love meeting new people, traveling and all. And this recruitment has given me that opportunity to meet and travel new people and all. So yeah, I mean, I so so I'm a recruiter and a sourcer by heart, and I love recruitment. I love that's my passion, and that's the reason. Last 23 years I've been into the same industry, and I've been. I mean, I started right from data entry to entrepreneur. So, and I've been into only recruitment. Yeah.
Perfect. So, tell us something about this sourcing Bhaijaan. Where does this come from?
So that's actually so if you all know that I am actually a Salman Khan fan. A lot of you know that. So what had happened was, so I was actually looking at some unique names for my Twitter handle or my Insta ID. I was looking for some name, and that time, I mean, this movie Bajrangi Bhaijaan had released, and then I thought, why not sourcing Bhaijaan? So instead of Bajrangi Bhaijaan, why not sourcing Bhaijaan? And that's how I took that name, sourcing Bhaijaan. And a lot of people call me Bhaijaan, and then that's how I can relate to it. So whenever I go for events, so kaise ho bhai, kaise kya hai bhai, so then I could relate to it, and then I said this is the best name I can actually get. So it's sourcing Bhaijaan, which has come from Bajrangi Bhaijaan.
So yes, if you are a Salman fan or not, you can always follow him on Twitter for sourcing Bhaijaan. Okay, so I mean, I don't know how many of you know, so Yusuf and me started our career at a very similar stage in OS2R way back in 2004.
2004, yes.
Yeah, and from that time, I mean, we're best friend and we're best friends from that. But Yusuf, why don't you talk about your journey? I think, as you said, you started as a data mining researcher to a entrepreneur who has multiple businesses. I mean, I know you have a lot of different other talents like singing and all, but we don't want to talk about that. but give everyone a taste of your journey so far. Would love to know.
Sure. Well, I'm very bad at singing.
I know that.
Yeah, and I mean, if you follow TikToks, I'm good at dancing, but that too, I mean, only Salman Khan steps. I can't do Hrithik Roshan steps and all.
Well, obviously you can't.
Okay, so to start with my journey, I mean, so I'll start with my school days basically. So I come from a very if you know Tadiola Road in Pune, so it's kind of a slum area. So that's where I started my life. So fortunately, my father, I mean, he made me go to a convent school, and that was the best thing which my father actually did. So he sent me to a convent school. That's where I started. But then after my 10th or 11th in my high school, during the summer vacations and all, my father used to tell me, why do you sit at home? Why do you keep playing and all? Why don't you start working? So that's how I started working with my father. So my father, he's a contractor. I mean, he does all this carpentry work and paint jobs and electrical jobs, electrician and all those stuff. So my first job was actually I was doing carpentry. So that was my first job, which I started with my father. So he used to give me some money, which I used to use it as my pocket money, and that's how my career started. But then, so my father used to work for some companies, IT companies and all. So my first job I got was because of this same carpentry work. So me and my best friend Eldon, so we were working there, and we were doing this carpentry work. And then the managing director of Mascon, okay, so he saw us working, and then he said, Pathan, is that your son? And then my dad said, yes, he's my son. And he said, okay, so he's from an English medium school, and then why is he doing this? And my dad said, I mean, what would he do then? So he said, okay, forget about those things. He called me and my friend, and he said, you both go home, take a bath, come and start working it. So that's how I started my journey. So that's so his name is Mr. Natarajan. I mean, He's no more with us, but I kind of think he's a godfather for me. He actually gave me this platform where, so today, whatever I am, it's because of Mr. Natarajan. Now, the day I started my job, I didn't even know how to switch on the computer. So that's how I started my job here. And then after that, it was just, we just went through, I started doing some internet research. So it was purely data mining work in Mascon, which I started with. But then I started learning new things. So like I said, right from switching on the computer, that's where I started my journey with. So I started learning new things. Then I got opportunities with different companies. And like I mentioned, I love interacting with people. So I made good network, good friends, and then that's how I started getting jobs. But the job which actually changed me was back in 2004, which was Oyster. Okay, that's where I actually learned a lot of things. In fact, when I joined Oyster, Sarang was my mentor. I used to report to Sarang that time, and Sarang was my mentor. So he actually introduced me to this world of different tools, techniques, and social media, and also that's where my actual journey started. Yeah, so I started with OSTI, but then the lot of learnings which happened, and till now, when I go out and meet people, a lot of people actually don't know me by key resourcing, but a lot of people say that OSTI, you're an ex-OSTI, and that's how your internet skills or your sourcing skills are so perfect. And OSTI is the place where Sarang would also
absolutely
agree. Yeah, our sourcing techniques were actually, we were perfect because of OSTI. So that's where the actual journey started. Then back in 2008, 2009, we had a great recession, and then we all were struggling, and there's a lot of problems during that time. And so OSTI actually closed down because of the recession, and then a lot of us were left jobless, and I was also one of them. And then we started looking for jobs, and I gave a few interviews in different companies. But then one of the clients, he approached me and said, "Why don't you work as a freelancer?" And also, so right now, in last 2 years, for you guys, this work from home is the new thing. For me, this happened back in 2008, 2009. So that is when I actually started working from home. So that was when key resourcing actually started. So I was the only person who started this. So I started working with the clients, then started getting some funds, and then that's how slowly, gradually we built up key resourcing. So at one point of time, somewhere around 2014, 15, we had a strength of about 200 people in key resourcing. So that's the strength, that's the growth we had seen in key resourcing. So 0 to 200, that's the growth we had seen. Then in 2014, then again we just having discussion. Sarang and we were having a discussion, and then a lot of people in the industry, they focus more on job portals. So they're more of job portal recruiters than these non-traditional ways. And then in key resourcing, we're doing something different. We're actually getting people from the non-traditional ways, right? So that's when this idea struck that why can't we start with the certification where we train recruiters and train them on all these different sourcing techniques. So that's how SourcePro was formed in 2014. So it's been 8 years that SourcePro was formed. Along with SourcePro, we also came up with this sourcing adda. So Sarang and me were just having a beer, and then that's how the concept of sourcing adda came in mind. And that's how we started again with Pune, and now we have a reach of about more than 25,000 recruiters worldwide through sourcing adda. And so that's how sourcing adda also started. So yeah. And then talking about SourcePro, we've trained more than 10,000 recruitment professionals. So until last year, we had trained more than 10,000. What's the figure now? But I don't know. But then, yeah, we've trained more than 10,000 professionals across the globe. So it's not just India, but we've trained professionals across the globe. Okay. And then recently, I also started. So last September 2019, so September 2021. me along with my friend Manjusha, we started with a restaurant called Mishus, okay, and that's also going well. So that was a new venture for me, something new, new challenges, and I love to take challenges. I love those management things, and also, so we both started with Mishus, and that's how Mishus started. So yeah, so right now I have key resourcing, SourcePro, Sourcing Gadda, and Mishus. So these are the four companies which I run.
That's awesome. It's really an inspiring journey that I think, and again, I've been with him for last so many years. I've seen him, growing not just as in the company but also as a professional. I mean, he's not coming from an MBA kind of a background or IIT and IIM, but he's still being building a serial entrepreneurship kind of things. I think there's a lot to take and lot to learn from that. So, just saying on that point, you said you come from a very different kind of a background. Obviously, your dad was an entrepreneur, so maybe that would be one of your inspiration. But obviously, getting into the internet and recruitment, which was a very different flavor, which normally maybe your parents wouldn't have understood. What have been some of the learnings and challenges that you have got in this journey, going from a data miner or a trainee to actually owning four companies? I mean, if there are people listening this podcast who want to become start their own startups or being entrepreneur, what are the challenges and I think learnings that you can share with them?
See, one of the things is, if you actually want to become an entrepreneur, the first thing you should have is the passion for that particular topic or for that particular subject. So, for example, for me, recruitment is I'm very passionate about recruitment. If you don't have the passion, nothing will drive you. Okay, so your money, everything. So once you start running your business, money and everything will keep flowing in. Okay, so passion is very important. Second, is the most important part to run any business is the people. Okay, a lot of people, they say people or technology. I would always say people. If you don't have the right people with you, if you don't have the right people, you will never succeed in business. So if you actually want to succeed in business, try building relationships with people. Try getting good team members in your team. The reason why I'm successful with key resourcing is because I have the right people running that business for me. Okay? Why SourcePro is so successful? It's again because of the people which I have in my team. Why Sourcing Gadda, all the events, why are those so successful? Because of those people. Okay, so it's not just because of me, or it's not just because of money. So everything money or technology cannot buy. There needs to be people who actually run this. So I think passion, people is what I feel you should have to become a very successful entrepreneur. That's what I feel. Money is success. Everything will flow in if you have these two things.
Perfect. And Yusuf, as far as I know, all of your startups have been bootstrapped, right? I mean, you're not picked up funding like it's a trend nowadays, Series A.
Yeah.
So how have you managed that part of it to one, stay afloat, but also grow from where you are to where you were to where you are? So, and what kind of again learnings other people can take from that?
Yeah. See, one of the things I never believed in getting funding and everything was because I always wanted to be my own entrepreneur. I didn't want anyone to be my boss, nothing. so I always wanted to be my own boss. So that's the reason. That was one of the reasons why I never went with funding. Second reason why I never went with funding is because I wanted to run the show according to me. So when you get investors in, or when you get people in, when people start investing in you, then we have to compromise on certain things. So you have to compromise on your passion, so which I never wanted. Second, the third important thing for me was my family support. Okay, because without funding, if you're running a company, there would be times where you would actually struggle financially, where you'll have to pay your EMIs, where you'll have to pay you'll have to take care of your daily expenses and all. So if you don't have your family as a support, then it would become a problem. I still remember when I wanted to start key resourcing, my father just asked me one question. Okay, so what would you do if the company doesn't succeed? I said I'll go back and I'll take another job. So my father said, okay. So my father didn't invest money in it, but what he said was that for the next 6 months to 9 months, you give whatever you have, you succeed in that company. Your expenses, my home expenses, EMIs will be taken care by him. So I never had the tension, okay, so how will my family run, what? So my father actually invested that, and that is a huge investment for me. Okay, so for the next 6 months, 9 months, he took care of all the expenses and everything, and then after that, because we started getting clients, because I had that passion, I had the right people in my team, the money started flowing in afterwards. And then now my father is happily retired now. Now I keep giving money, so he's very happy now.
I'm
But
sure
yeah,
he
but
is.
then yeah, if it didn't help that time, I wouldn't have been an entrepreneur now.
Yeah, and obviously very proud of you.
Yes.
Yusuf, what are one or two very proud moments in this journey which you would go back and recall, saying, okay, these I would always cherish these moments.
So the proudest moment was when we had actually reached 196 people in key resources.
Hmm.
That was the proudest moment for me. 196 people, and so I'd never thought that we would have so many people in the team, and yeah, I mean that was one of the proudest moments. The second proudest moment was last before the lockdown when we had the TaskCon.
Yeah.
We had more than 700 people, so I never thought that we'd have 700 people, and then 700 people knowing you in the industry, and then the sourcing Bhaijaan of the industry. So you can feel that, right? And then you talking to 700 people on the stage, which is actually a big thing for me, because I never did that in my life. I never thought that I would actually do that. So that was one of the biggest, proudest moment for me.
Okay. And what do you do when you're not giving training or managing the business? I know you have a DSLR.
Yeah.
Photography was your passion. What else do you enjoy?
So I love photography.
Mm.
I love traveling, and especially I love solo traveling. This is one of the things which, if you want to become an entrepreneur, I think you should start doing solo travels. Okay, solo travel actually helps you a lot, because you sit down, you think, okay, so what have you been doing? What have you done till now? What are the next steps? So there's no one around, nothing. You just fresh. I mean, you have those 7 8 days with you. You just keep thinking and all. So I think solo traveling actually helps a lot in redesigning your entire thinking process. So I think solo traveling you all should try.
So, Yusuf, what are your future plans? I mean, now have 4 different companies. I think you talked about your recruitment sourcing journey. What's next?
So next, one of the next things what I'm planning to do is, so if you look at SourcePro, Sourcing Adda, and Key Resource, so these ventures I want to take these international. So that's my future goal. So want to have offices across the globe. Maybe not possible very immediately, but that's what my plan is for my future. So have some offices in the international location, get all the talent acquisition recruiters community worldwide to the same platform, Sourcing Adda. So that's one of the biggest dreams what I have. Right now we just focused on some cities or some parts of India or some parts of the different countries, but then I want to make it global. So Sourcing Adda, I need to make it global. And yeah, SourcePro, it's already global, but yeah, I need to keep training people on different aspects and all. So I'm coming up with a lot of different things. I'm coming up with a LMS now, so there are a lot of different things which we're going to start. I'm going to start my own YouTube channel called Sourcing Bhaijaan very soon. So you guys should actually start following me on that YouTube channel as well, where I would be sharing a lot of tips related to sourcing. There would be a lot of videos. You'll see a lot of my vlogs from the different events what have come. There will be a lot of learnings on this YouTube channel as well. So I'll keep you guys posted whenever I have that Sourcing Bhaijaan YouTube channel. And then yeah, so these are my future plans for now.
Okay, sounds good, sounds grand. The last segment, we do a quick rapid fire. So you
Okay.
don't have to think about the choice is made, just whatever comes to your mind.
Mm-hmm.
Recruiter or sourcer?
Sourcer.
Sourcer or entrepreneur?
Sourcer.
That's a tough one.
Sourcer. Still a sourcer.
Still sourcer by heart.
Yes.
Okay. Work from home, work from office.
Work from office. I love working from office. So work from office for sure. Yeah.
Okay. And Salman in Dabang or Salman in Bajrangi Bhaijaan?
Salman in Bajrangi Bhaijaan.
Okay, that's a bit unexpected for me.
Yeah, from Bajrangi Bhaijaan. Yeah.
Yeah, you should have seen his earlier videos of his anniversary work, KR anniversary where he do dances. So again, that's another talent that he has. But and I requested him to do a bit of trailer for us, but he
No,
was,
you can go to YouTube. You'll find at least 3 or 4 of my videos. I'm dancing on Salman concerts. So you'll find.
yeah, great. Thank you so much, Yusuf. What's your parting advice to the recruitment community?
See, my parting advice to the recruitment community is one. So over a period of these 23 years, what I've seen is, I mean, people actually don't. They actually think recruitment as a platform to get into the HR domain, or basically they just accidentally land up in recruitment. But trust me, there's a huge potential. There's a huge career which is here in the recruitment field, and you can be very successful in recruitment. So I think you guys should start taking recruitment or talent acquisition professional very seriously. While you're doing your education, also treat it as, I mean, people want to become doctors, engineers, and all those things, but people should also look at talent acquisition as that profession. And and if you want to become an entrepreneur, I would definitely would like to help you. If you need any advice, any suggestions, I can definitely help you guys. But take recruitment as a serious profession, and I would love everyone to be an entrepreneur at one point of time someday, because it's a fantastic journey, a lot of ups and downs, a lot of challenges, and you definitely love it. Yeah.
Okay, and if people want to reach out to you, what are your digital accounts that they can follow?
So all my IDs, if you look at Facebook, Insta IDs, Twitter ID, whatever ID, just search for Sourcing Bhaijaan and you'll get all my profiles on all these platforms. So yeah, please follow me on Insta, please follow me on LinkedIn, please follow me on Twitter. I'm very active on all these different platforms, and now slowly I'll be more active on YouTube as well, with my videos coming in as Sourcing Bhaijaan.
Okay, great. Thank you so much, Yusuf. Finally having him to sit down and talk and share his journey. So again, thank you all of you. I hope you're enjoying these episodes. Please let us know how you're liking it or not. All your feedback will be appreciated. With that, thank you so much again. And I hope, Yusuf, this was a good conversation.
Yeah, this was a very good conversation, and thank you so much for giving me this opportunity. And thank you so much for viewing this podcast. And we'll keep sharing more podcasts through Sourcing Adda. So thank you, Sarang, for taking up this initiative. Yeah.
No problem. Thank you so much.
Yeah,
Cheers
thank you
and
so
bye-bye.
much. Thank you. Bye bye.